Deshaun Watson has gone to the Browns. When will Jimmy Garoppolo get traded? And I think a lot of people were saying, well, when the Deshaun Watson domino falls and Jimmy's up next. I don't look at it that way, Sybilla. It seems to me like Baker Mayfield is up now. And every team is going to be waiting on to see where he goes. And then Jimmy Garoppolo could be up after that. So I don't know. Like, I'm on vacation over here. Do you think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get traded while I'm on vacation the next 2 days, or is it going to be Baker Mayfield first?
I think it's Baker Mayfield first, because I think the teams are very similar as far as just a great running offense and everything. I think you can see the spread between the two of them and realize that Baker's a little bit more durable than Jimmy. I think everyone's a little bit more durable than Jimmy. I just don't see how you can sell it to your fan base at this point when you've whiffed essentially on Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson, and you didn't get one of these household names, one of these elite tier quarterbacks, and you go with Jimmy Garoppolo at this point. That doesn't sell well to me. If I'm a Colts fan, I want there to be upside to the trade. I don't want to just kind of bring in a pedestrian level quarterback who has health issues.
Yeah.
And Jimmy has upside. He does. He has zip. He has quick release. But there are O-line issues in Indianapolis, and I think it needs the mobility of Baker Mayfield. They have a great O-line, I believe, when it comes to the run, but when it comes to the pass, not so much. It's one of the worst. So all of a sudden, Jimmy Garoppolo is not an attractive fit with that.
Yeah, and the thing with Jimmy, like, he's not the same Jimmy he was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. He doesn't throw the ball down the field anymore. Like, you could call it, he won't throw it. He won't look that way. Ask Brandon Ayuk. Ask Kyle Shanahan. I think it's a big deal breaker. It is, I think, mostly because he missed Emmanuel Sanders in the Super Bowl. It's a mental
that was life altering. I mean, that defines his career.
No question. And so Baker doesn't have that baggage. Baker will cut it loose. Baker's not great, but he doesn't limit you the way that Jimmy Garoppolo does. I don't see how a team picks Jimmy over Baker. And now it's looking bad for the Niners, because if Indianapolis trades for Baker today, what do the Niners do? Back to the drawing board?
They have to gobble his contract. That's the only thing they can do.
Yeah. So when will Jimmy Garoppolo get traded? Maybe the better question is, will he get traded at all? Or will they release him, or will they keep him?
The worst case scenario is that they don't trade him, but they cut him. To me, I think that's the worst thing that they could possibly do, to get nothing. But I just don't see the point of carrying his cap hits and just trying to. I mean, the Rams are going to lose and have lost some pieces as far as, like, will they bring Von Miller back? I haven't seen any updates on that. Will Von Miller go back to, Denver or something like that? But the bottom line is that they are still actually adding pieces. So they got a pretty good wide receiver recently that I think is a pretty good rotational piece for them. And this attacks the Niners where they're weakest. So if the Niners are not going to use this Jimmy Garoppolo money to bring in free agents or things like that, the Niners aren't getting better while some of their competitors are. Now, some of their competitors are sinking rock bottom, but still, I don't see them keeping pace by keeping Jimmy.
I don't think they care about keeping pace. I think we've read the situation all wrong. I don't think the Niners feel like they're going to go all in this year. A lot of other teams are. The Niners don't know what they have at quarterback, and they're pretty much saying, you know what, we'll bring in Travarius Ward, but other than that, we're not going to do anything too crazy. We'll still be in the middle. We're still an excellent team, but this is not our year to make a big push like they did in 2019. That's the way I read it.
Without a doubt, I was not a fan of losing Tomlinson.
There's no upgrade in sight. No upgrade in sight.
Honestly, to me, that's not a favor to Trey Lance. That is certainly the writing on the wall. Is if I'm Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, if I'm Jimmy Garoppolo at this point, I'm like, there's no way I'm going out behind that line the way it is right now until they actually make some. And I know they're bringing in other pieces and such, but
they're more focused on the future than the present. They're more focused on the future than the present. They're thinking about getting picks for Jimmy down the line, like not about getting cap space now. They're thinking about the future. They're thinking about 2-3 years down the line. Seriously.
They're not going to get a trade package that actually empowers them to get picks 2 or 3 years down the line. If you get rid of Jimmy, all you will get is something this year. That's it.
Yeah. I don't know if
so he doesn't have he's not an attractive option right now, and it's definitely concerning. And like I said, a lot of people think that he did his shoulder surgery to debunk the 49ers' hands. And I mean, that's possible that he did that. But on the other hand, if I'm from his perspective, looking at it through his eyes, I want surgery to get as healthy as possible as soon as possible.
So when will Jimmy Garoppolo get traded? I think it's possible that if Baker Mayfield goes to the Colts, that Jimmy Garoppolo won't get traded. That the market for him will be non-existent, and the Niners' choice will be cut him and get $17.5 million in salary cap space that's kind of a little late to use, or keep him and refuse to admit that you lost on the trade. I think that's what they're going to do. If Baker Mayfield goes to Indianapolis, I think Jimmy stays here another year. I don't think they'll cut him. I think they'll hold on to him as a backup or whatever, and they'll let last season happen all over again. Jimmy will become the starter, and they'll just do it all over again with a worse left guard, a worse strong safety, a worse nickel back, and a better number one corner. That's what they'll do.
Yeah, that's not a very good prospect. That's for certain. I was hoping that we could push him to a team like the Steelers or something like that early on. I wish we had been able to jump on a trade a month ago or something like that, or even further back. Like right as the offseason began, I was really hoping that Jimmy could pair himself with a trade, but then he went for surgery, and I think that really derailed the whole process for the Niners.
Brandon Lee says if Matt Ryan goes to the Colts, Jimmy Garoppolo to Atlanta. Why would they want him?
I don't know why Ryan would go to Indianapolis, but if for whatever reason that happens, I could definitely see them targeting Jimmy, but I just don't see how the first part of that happens.
Seahawks and Panthers have interest in Mayfield. So I guess
now that's another thing.
Yeah.
Is Seattle I laughed to myself when I saw Russell Wilson leave because I lose no sleep over that. But I was thinking to myself, it'd be hilarious if Jimmy went to Seattle. I just don't see it happening inter-division trade like that of a franchise or bridge quarterback, however you want to look at him. But it would be really funny if he ended up there. Mayfield going there, I could see Mayfield and Pete Carroll might be a pretty good marriage.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll has a huge personality.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. He could do that. And if those teams drive up the price and the Colts don't get Baker Mayfield, they feel he's too expensive, maybe they have to take Jimmy Garoppolo.
And I think the point they were making right there is that the market might still be competitive with 2 or 3 teams left.
Yeah. V says, why is Baker's upside better than Jimmy? He had really good talent around him and still went nowhere. Maybe Rex Ryan is correct on Baker. I think he went to a championship game 2 years ago when they had Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry. Baker Mayfield threw 26 touchdown passes and 8 picks. That's 3-1. Jimmy's never done anything like that. And he's younger, and he throws deep. So, boom. That's the answer.
Yeah, the other thing is the upside to Jimmy Garoppolo is that he stays healthy. That's not a good upside to begin with. And that's another thing that Baker has over him. He's had some injuries, but I just feel like he's a tougher quarterback than Jimmy.
And more mobile. Kent says Niners equals cheap. Sorry, am I wrong? No, I mean, they spent a lot to get Trey Lance. They spent a lot on Jimmy Garoppolo. They spent a lot on Dee Ford. They're just telling you they're not making a push this year. And we all thought they would. I guess they think it's not their year.
If you're over the cap or near the cap, you cannot be cheap. You may not have spent your money correctly, but the Niners are not cheap. Absolutely.
Can you say hello to Moe? He's your biggest fan. Hello, Moe.
Hi, Moe.
I'm your biggest fan. All right, so that's all we need. That's all we know about Deshaun Watson and Jimmy Garoppolo at this time. It all depends on Indianapolis. If they get Baker Mayfield, that's bad news. If they don't, that's good news for the 49ers.